Anger feels powerful in the moment. But most of the time, it is not power. It is surrender. The moment rage takes over your voice, your body, and your judgment, you are no longer in command. Something else is driving you. And the person who loses control first is rarely the strongest person in the room. They are usually the easiest to move. Many people think anger makes them strong. They think it proves passion, self-respect, or courage. They believe that if they do not react with force, others will not take them seriously. But Stoicism teaches something deeper. Anger is often not a sign of strength. It is a sign that your inner world has been invaded. It means someone touched a wound, challenged your ego, interrupted your expectation, or denied your sense of control. And instead of responding with clarity, you handed your mind to emotion. In this video, we will explore why anger feels so powerful, why it quietly weakens judgment, and how Stoic discipline can help you master it before it begins to master you. Anger feels strong because it creates immediate energy. Your heartbeat rises, your muscles tighten, your breathing changes, your mind narrows. Suddenly, everything feels sharp, urgent, and personal. In that state, anger gives the illusion of certainty. It tells you that you are right, that you must act now, that your intensity is clarity. But it is not clarity. It is compression. Anger compresses the world into one emotional point. It removes nuance. It removes patience. It removes perspective. And that is why people often say things in anger that they later regret. Not because they were finally honest, but because they were no longer wise. A great deal of anger is not born from principle. It is born from wounded ego. Someone disrespected you, ignored you, corrected you, rejected you, delayed what you wanted, refused to behave the way you expected. And suddenly, anger rises as if justice itself has been attacked. But very often, what has been attacked is not truth. It is your self-image. This matters because if you do not understand what anger is protecting, you will mistake ego defense for moral strength. You will believe every surge of outrage is righteous. And that is how anger begins to justify itself. The Stoic asks a harder question. Am I angry because something is wrong, or because I did not get what I wanted? The moment someone can predict your anger, they can begin to control you. If they know what provokes you, they can move you. If they know what insults your pride, they can manipulate your attention. If they know what makes you explode, they no longer need strength, they only need timing. This is why uncontrolled anger is such a liability. It turns your emotions into exposed buttons, and once your buttons are exposed, anyone with enough immaturity can press them. Stoicism teaches that emotional control is not suppression. It is protection. You are protecting your focus, your dignity, your decisions, your future actions. Because the angry mind does not choose well. It only strikes fast. The first Stoic response to anger is not a speech. It is a pause. That pause is small, but it changes everything. Because anger wants speed. It wants reaction before reflection. It wants movement before thought. The pause interrupts that chain. It gives you a narrow doorway back into self-command. A moment to breathe, a moment to observe, a moment to ask. What exactly is happening inside me right now? Not what they did, not how wrong they are, but what is happening inside me. That question begins to return power to where it belongs. Once you pause, the next step is honesty. Name the real source of the anger. Is it humiliation, frustration, fear, disappointment, powerlessness, exhaustion? Anger often arrives first because it is easier to feel than vulnerability. It feels cleaner than hurt, stronger than sadness, safer than fear. But if you only deal with the anger on the surface, you may never address what feeds it underneath. Many people say, "I have an anger problem." But what they really have is a pain they do not know how to hold. Stoicism does not ask you to become emotionless. It asks you to become accurate. Stoic strength is not the absence of anger. It is the refusal to let anger set the scale of your response. Not everything deserves the same energy. Not every offense deserves confrontation. Not every irritation deserves explanation. Not every disrespect deserves war. Some things deserve correction. Some deserve distance. Some deserve one clear sentence. And some deserve nothing at all. This is what proportion means. You do not let the size of your emotion decide the size of your action. You let principle decide, and principle moves slower than anger. That is why it protects you better. Anger is dangerous when it stays wild. But disciplined, it can become information. It can show you where your boundaries are weak, where your expectations are unrealistic, where your exhaustion is building, where your ego is still fragile, where a situation requires distance instead of more tolerance. In that sense, anger can teach you, if you stop obeying it long enough to study it. The Stoic does not worship anger. They examine it. They ask, what is this feeling revealing? What pattern is repeating? What standard have I neglected? What must change in me or around me so this no longer rules me? That is how emotion becomes wisdom. If you do not master your anger, it will eventually master your choices. It will speak for you when wisdom should speak. It will decide for you when principle should decide. And it will leave damage behind that clarity never would have chosen. So remember, pause before reaction. Name the real wound. Separate ego from principle. Respond with proportion. And study your anger until it becomes a teacher instead of a tyrant. Because real strength is not proven by how loudly you explode. It is proven by how much power you keep when provoked. Control your anger before it controls you. And protect your peace before your pride destroys it.